Most limits you respect were never real. They were borrowed conclusions, repeated so often they started to feel like facts. Have you ever felt like your results are not matching your effort? It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because your results are capped by your assumptions. When your thinking stays small, your actions can't scale. But when your thinking expands, the structure to support it will follow. This isn't just some inspirational quote. This is simple cause and effect. The story I'm about to tell you isn't about overnight success. It's about the powerful alignment between what you believe and what you can achieve. Think of it as a mechanism, not just a message. Imagine a small town built alongside a dry, dusty road. The people there measured their lives in safe, predictable steps. They chose jobs that paid just enough. They dreamed quietly, never letting their hopes get too big. In this town lived a man named Daniel. He was a mechanic, working in a small repair shop, fixing old machines. His hands were incredibly skilled, but his mind was locked. He truly believed that talent had its limits, that where you were born decided your fate. Every day looked exactly the same because he thought exactly the same. One morning, an old weathered truck broke down right near his shop. The driver, a calm and patient man, waited as Daniel expertly repaired the engine. The work was clean, efficient. The driver watched him the entire time, in complete silence. Just before leaving, he looked at Daniel and said, "You repaired like an engineer." Daniel just shrugged and replied, "I'm only a mechanic." The driver simply smiled and drove away. That one sentence echoed in Daniel's head for days. Only a mechanic. He realized that this single belief had built the ceiling over his entire life. Weeks went by, and Daniel started to notice a pattern. Customers with bigger, more complex problems paid more, a lot more. Customers with small, quick fixes paid very little. The amount of work was often similar, but the thinking behind the request was completely different. The people who thought big asked for complete, long-term solutions. The people who thought small just wanted a temporary patch. And Daniel, he always chose to provide the patches. It felt safer. But that safety was keeping him small. One night, a storm knocked out the power in the whole town. Daniel sat alone in the darkness of his shop. He closed his eyes and allowed himself to imagine the shop larger, with more tools, better systems, a team of helpers. But then, he stopped himself. He thought, this isn't for people like me. And just like that, the image vanished. He went to sleep, and the next day, absolutely nothing changed. A year later, a brand new workshop opened just down the road. It was a clean, modern space with organized tools and clear, confident pricing. The owner was younger than Daniel, and honestly, not more skilled. But customers started going there instead. Daniel felt a surge of anger, which quickly turned to fear. And then, finally, to a moment of startling clarity. The other man didn't work harder. He just thought bigger. He designed outcomes for his customers, not just quick fixes for their tasks. Daniel started to observe his new competitor closely. The new workshop offered guarantees on their work. Daniel never did. The new workshop was training helpers, building a team. Daniel always worked alone. The new workshop spoke with certainty and authority. Daniel always spoke with a hint of apology, as if he were an inconvenience. The skill wasn't the gap between them. The vision was. Right then and there, Daniel made a decision. He stopped thinking in terms of individual repairs. He started thinking in systems. He began listing all the problems his customers faced. Asterisk before asterisk, their machines even broke down. He learned about preventative maintenance. He completely reorganized his tools for maximum efficiency. He raised his prices. At first, it was scary. Some of his old customers left, complaining about the changes. But then, something amazing happened. Better customers arrived. Customers who valued quality and long-term solutions. As his fear decreased, his focus increased. People in town noticed. "You've changed," they'd say. He would just agree silently. Change was exactly what was required. He invested his new earnings into training his first helper. Almost overnight, his productivity doubled. So, he invested again, hiring another. The shop expanded. Suddenly, that long, dry road felt shorter, and the small town felt a lot smaller. Years later, the same old truck pulled up. It was the same driver. This time, Daniel owned 3 successful workshops across the region. The driver recognized him instantly. He smiled that same calm smile and said, "You finally became an engineer." Daniel looked back at him and replied, "I always was. I just used to think small." The moral of this story is direct and undeniable. Thinking big doesn't mean you have to dream loudly or make grand pronouncements. It means refusing to accept the false limits you've placed on yourself. Your work will always follow your thoughts. Your results will always follow the structure you create. Skill without scale just traps your effort, but thought without fear multiplies your output. Small thinking constantly asks, "How do I survive?" Big thinking asks, "How can I design a better future?" Small thinking clings to comfort and safety. Big thinking accepts the tension that comes with growth. Small thinking reacts to problems. Big thinking builds solutions before the problems even arise. When your behavior aligns, your outcomes are guaranteed to follow. This isn't motivation. It's mechanics. It's a system. Think small, and your life will shrink to match. Think big, and systems will begin to form around you to support your vision. The choice is always internal, but the effect is always external. What choice will you make today? Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more stories like this.